Welcome to the weekly news roundup. These are recorded live on Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Although next week going into Christmas, it may be a slightly different time. Stay tuned for that. Today we're doing the privacy and security news, and we start out with Alexa. So Alexa released this little tiny screen. It was a little lame thing, whatever. So now they're like, we're back. We have a 15-inch Alexa. You hang it on your wall. It shows the weather. It shows the calendars, the appointments, the shopping list, all sorts of neat stuff all over it. And it's got, of course, cameras and stuff. So the idea here is to have one place and central location. The whole family can gather around Alexa so Amazon can track all of you, including your little children. Of course, this just provides you a better opportunity to walk by anybody's random picture frame and say, "Hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat, confirm." And see if you can fill up your friend's house full of unicorn meat. But it's basically your same Alexa thing, which tracks everything you do, stores all of your anything that it hears is being stored, anything it sees is being stored. You're basically giving Amazon a bunch of stuff. This is a bad idea. Don't get one of these stupid things. Push away from all this crap. Go back to, building your shopping list and putting it on a piece of paper on your wall. They're saying the good stuff. It's solid hardware. It's easy to wall mount. It has a big bright screen, picture-in-picture function, and useful HD streaming makes it decent for a kitchen TV. Great. Well, we'll have other kitchen TVs later on in the news. The bad stuff, poor camera quality. I think it's like $500 or something. Snappier than other shows, but still slow. Visual ID is inconsistent. Visual ID is inconsistent. So I don't want there to be any visual ID. I'm assuming that means it knows who it is when you approach it. Hey, little Johnny, you want to look at that thing your mom doesn't want you to see? Yeah, limited customization options and too few widgets. Okay. I would say that, I don't know, this is not a good thing, guys. This is a privacy invader in your home. So definitely avoid these. From TechSpot, now France is the latest to order Clearview AI to delete data. So we reported, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, Australia demanded that Clearview delete all of their data. And now France is doing the same. So basically citing multiple GDPR violations, which probably means every EU nation is going to force that. So here we are. Hey, Clearview, amazing job. Here's your patents. And everyone else in the world's like, delete that crap, you morons. And so that's kind of what we get with here. Of course, Clearview AI is the artificial intelligence that goes through scraping every type of site on the internet, completely violating all of those sites' terms of service and populating data and then selling it to, highest bidders, law enforcement, things like that. And so France is taking a step to delete it, and I think that there should just be a worldwide ban on this crap. So there is that. Well, Toyota has decided that if you want to use the functions on your key fob, starting your car, warming your seats, all those types of things, you have to pay a subscription service to Toyota. This is cars manufactured in 2018 or later, and we're just learning about this because when people were buying them, they were including 3 free years of this stuff, and now these 3 free years are starting to lapse, and all of a sudden now, Toyota owners are getting notifications that in order to continue to use remote start, heated seats, and other functions in the car, they have to pay an annual subscription fee to Toyota. So guys, stop buying Toyotas. That's a bunch of absolute crazy, ludicrous nonsense to be sitting here billing somebody a subscription fee to utilize the features on their car. Now, I put this in privacy section because for this functionality to work and for it to know that you are using these, there has to be some type of tie-in back to the system. And so you're getting, not only are you paying Toyota a ridiculous fee for utilizing services that are actually built into the car, but they will have the capability of tracking down who's using such services or not. And these are things that we have to keep in mind. And so other car companies have been starting to do this kind of stuff as well. This is the first mainstream lower price car manufacturer that has, and hopefully we get enough pushback that they decide to abandon this nonsense. And finally, on our feature story is Apple hiding CSAM. Of course, this is the platform child bad stuff material scanner. And what would happen is if you had your phone and you had an iCloud account, then they would scan. It wasn't scanning images in your account, to be clear. It was scanning the images on your device. It just checked if your device was connected to iCloud. And so what happened here is they release us saying, hey, we're going to scan everybody's device for this stuff and just alert the Gestapo if you happen to have something we think is wrong. And a lot of people came out with a lot of things showing how easily it is to spoof it. A lot of other people came out saying this is a massive privacy violation, and it is. There's all sorts of issues with all of this crap here. And so what was happening is they got so much backlash. They're like, well, we're postponing it. We're still going to do it some later time, but we're postponing it. But right now, they are going through and very quietly, they are removing every record of this from their site. So if you go back to Apple, if you follow all those old documents, you go back and you look for the information, it's completely gone. There's no reference, which basically means Apple can turn around and say, oh, that was all conspiracy theory. However, they didn't respond, I don't believe, to Mac Rumors. They did respond to a comment from The Verge. This is their thought. Apple spokesman Shane Bauer told The Verge that though the CSAM detection feature is no longer mentioned on the website, plans for CSAM detection have not changed since September, which means CSAM detection is coming at some point in time in the future. And in September, Apple said, based on feedback from customers, advocacy groups, researchers, and others, we've decided to take additional time in the coming months to collect input and make improvements before releasing the critically important safety features. So the fact of the matter is that they are still going to do this. They're still going to have the platform on your Apple devices. They're going to be searching information and reporting you to Gestapo without you being involved. They're just not telling you about it anymore. And this in and of itself is enough, guys. You shouldn't be using Apple products. I'm going to say it. You shouldn't be using Apple products until they completely say, this was a bad idea. It's too ripe for abuse. We're not going to do it. Or, hey, at least they put back the information so we all know what they're doing and they make it very, very, very abundantly clear to everybody what they are doing. But even that is a bad option because it starts with obviously we got to have something in place to protect the children. But how long before it's, we're going to look for memes? I mean, Twitter just basically made memeing a violation of their terms. How long before Apple just takes the same process and bink, tweaks it, boom, and your account gets banned, blocked, or you get canceled from the Gestapo because you have wrongthink based upon the information on your phone. And so this is a serious issue where they are planning to roll this feature out, but they are very silently, very quietly removing all of the documentation to it, which makes all of the old articles talking about this almost look like maybe that was just a conspiracy theory. They're going to wait until the next big thing, like, the Orion variant or something, and then boom, it's going to show up and nobody's going to know about it. And then all of a sudden we're going to have all sorts of weird people like, dude, what's going on? And then we're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So anyway, that is, those are my thoughts about that. And if you want to help support the channel, we do have affiliates. Today we are highlighting A2 Hosting. I used A2 Hosting for a lot of my clients. Actually, I still do use it for some of my clients as well. They have continued to be a good service, a good support. We have everything from very simple, low-spec plans starting as little as $250 a month, all the way up to full-fledged dedicated servers at $100 a month. There's a lot of different options you have. You can jump on over here using my affiliate link, tlm.li/A2H will help support the channel. So let's go ahead and have a look at security news next. So everything in security is about this Log4Shell because this was a huge deal and it just kind of dropped. It was a 0 day that is now being massively exploited because a lot of a lot of different servers, functions, and things are all, they're basically all using the same Java library, which is by the Apache Foundation. And pretty much everybody in the world put this program in, and there was a big vulnerability, and it basically just makes a thing easy to hack. So first and foremost, we've only just, as of this week, let's see, article's 4 days, so let's add 4. So 8 days ago is when we first figured this thing out. And as a max severity, 0 day has not even dampened it, but it soon will. And by the time we get to the end of this, yes, it has already dampened it. So what this basically is, if you go into any specific web form that utilizes the J4Shell for logging events, basically use it for logging events, a lot of different sites, and you paste in a string of text instead of, hi, my name is Bob, you paste in some other form of Perl code, you can compromise the entire server and pretty much take the whole thing over. So here is the bad dude. He enters in a string of text into a vulnerable server's comment form, for example. And then this says, oh, crap, we should be doing something else. We're supposed to be in debug mode. And it returns back to the guy a loop into a root access to the full original server. And now you can do whatever you want with it. And so that's kind of how bad it is. There's really nothing you can do on an individual level other than, hey, have fewer accounts to things. There's a thought. And so it turns out this thing is everywhere, iPhone and Tesla. If you simply rename, you can go into your phone and give your phone a name. Apparently you can give your car a name too, like my Badstar Roadster or something. Or I would, if I had a Tesla, like, okay, you have to drive this Tesla, I would name it something to the effect of Emergency Vehicle Exterminator or something, because you think suicide or bombers right into those things. But if you go into the rename the field and you type in that string of stuff, and you can see what they're typing into this string here, and boom, it returns back root access to the device. You can do all sorts of fun, weird stuff with it. Yay. What it basically is doing is it's going into the servers, which will command the device and allow you to do some crazy, weird things. So there you go, Apple and Tesla. Well, it turns out in 8 days, over 840,000 different attacks of this flaw have been found, most of these from Chinese groups. And there's just so many in here, we don't even know what they all are. It's just like, hey, let's copy and paste this into every single form on the internet. We already have bots that put stuff in every form on the internet. Let's just go ahead and do it, And so they're doing that. And so there you go, guys. It's we're just adding it everywhere. And so everyone's like, oh, the whole world's starting to shut down. And the biggest factor, the one that stole Christmas, is that a massive payroll software is compromised by this, Kronos, I believe. So huge, massive, company that handles like everybody's payroll, and they were compromised, taken over, and ransomwared. And so people really can't get their paychecks until this is all squared away right before Christmas. Now, what type of lessons can we have for this? Obviously, having fewer accounts means you personally are going to be a little bit less impacted. But the other factor to keep in mind is if you are running a business, do things with more dispersed and smaller services. Louis Rossmann talked about this on his channel with the AWS outage last week, where he had a variety of different services running his business, but what he didn't know is that every single one of them were using AWS as their back end. And so every aspect of his business, basically the communication end of his business, shut down because AWS servers shut down, which was crazy. And so since all of these big companies are taking over and weeding out the smaller groups, now you have this Kronos coming in, managing payroll for everybody under the sun. Like, oh yeah, we're the big corporate payroll guys. Well, they get shut down, everybody is losing out their paychecks. Now, what will probably end up happening is many of these companies are going to have to, write manual checks or do something like that, because, yeah, you really can't withhold your workers' paychecks. they're going to have to find a way around it. But this is a big deal. So this is really this is one of the largest, most dangerous pieces of malware because it's high level. It doesn't really require anything else other than, hey, there's a web form. Let's see if we can attack it. And don't try that. That would not be legal. Just understand that. And yeah, was it Hack5 did a video. I think it's Hack5, did a video yesterday, today, sometime this week about this and how it works. It was a very informative video. So have a look at that one there, which is, this is pretty good. So yeah, actually I see somebody in the comments wrote the same thing. It was Hack5. Yes. Thank you. Hack5 is the video I did see. So go have a look at that video if you are interested in a little bit more about this, but this is a pretty big one. There were other malware stories this week, but they were pretty much all dwarfed by this. Well, you can help support the channel over on Patreon, patreon.com/TOMM. It's Tom M. And you can have a look over there and join us and help the channel out by subscribing over on Patreon. Well, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched2Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.